Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Yvonne Orgy, and today I want to talk about how Jesus specializes in the impossible. Now, I know a lot of us are going through some situations that really do look impossible. It's like, hey, Jordan in the fourth with 3 seconds left to go.
Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win! They win!
And I need one of these things to happen. I want to really focus in on the story of Lazarus. That was a situation that was dead, and God legitimately brought it back to life. John 11 verse 4, it said, when Jesus learned that the one he loved, Lazarus, was sick, he said, this sickness will not end in death. It is for God's glory, so that God's Son may be glorified through it. We can make things look so dire because all we have to see is the here and now. God sees the bigger picture. He sees the end from the beginning. So right now, even though this is all I see, and right now it looks very scary, very hopeless, like a dead situation, take a deep breath. He knows what he can do. So now Jesus loved Martha and her sister Mary and Lazarus. So when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was 2 more days. He found out and he stayed where he was 2 more days, and he loved them. Some of y'all like, God, man, I need this joint to be fixed right now. The whole time you tripping, Jesus is yoga posing and namasteing because he's like, I don't work on deadlines. I create a time. So, and he loved them. If you're thinking, I haven't heard from Jesus, he must not care about me, maybe I'm such a sinner, maybe he's mad at me, get all that guilt and shame out the door. He loves you just on the strength of you being his child. Sometimes God will wait for everything to look a hot, crazy mess, for you to not have a clue as to how you're going to get out of it.
God's saying, hey, church, I want you to realize I don't even turn up until it's impossible. I wait until you're past the age. See, some of you, you think those promises have expired. You think it cannot happen. And God says, yeah, that's exactly right. I'm waiting until there is no chance that this can happen in the natural. If you're smart enough, if you're capable enough, if you're intelligent enough, if you're connected enough, if you're resourced enough, somewhere down the track, you're going to think you actually had something to do with it. So God says, I'm going to wait till there is absolutely no opportunity for you to be able to take any credit, because impossible is where God starts. Miracles are what God does.
When the situation looks so bad, get excited, because who do you call? No, not Ghostbusters. You call Jesus. That's who. Jesus went on to tell the disciples, our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I'm going there to wake him up. His disciples replied, I don't see the problem. Why we got to go all the way back there? My feet hurt. If he's just taking a power nap, he be all right. Sometimes everybody's not going to get it. And sometimes people just try to reason their way out of helping you. People that you care about, people that care about you. But thank God for God. And thank God for really good friends who will get in the muck with you. Here's the crazy thing. Jesus knew that the situation was bad. He knew that Lazarus was at a
Call 10, there's a dump clock.
But he still calls it sleeping. But we know that he knew that the situation was worse than that, because in the very next line, Jesus makes it plain. He said, Lazarus is dead. Y'all, he let it go, let it go. But I'm glad that I wasn't there so that you may believe. But come on, let's go to him. He wants to make a statement, not only in Lazarus' life, but in your life. For your sake, there's some things that God has allowed to just go kaplut so that you can believe. Those tests and trials, they reveal more about us than about God's character. We all need to grow up in something. Maybe you've mastered tithing, and so yeah, you trust God in the area of your finances, and that's great. But maybe you don't trust God in the area of you getting a spouse. But God, I need to find somebody though. Don't nobody love me out here in these streets. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm shutting all of that down. Every relationship you about to be in, bam, shut it down. Maybe I'm trying to put my worth and my value into this relationship when I need to actually be placing all of that into the one who cared for me first. Shift in perspective. Sometimes that's all it takes. Verse 17, on his arrival, Jesus found that Lazarus had already been in his tomb for 4 days. Martha said to Jesus, Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Where was you at? I don't know why I made Martha from Crenshaw. I apologize. Isn't it just like us to blame Jesus for something? Lord, if you really cared about me, my husband wouldn't have left. I'd have gotten that promotion. Our house wouldn't have gotten repossessed. Now, you know good and well, if you had a friend that treated you the same way you treat Jesus sometimes, you would hit him with, no friends, no. But really, at the end of the day, we're blaming the wrong person. He's the same person that says, in this world, you will have trouble, but cheer up, for I have overcome the world. That's the God that we serve, and that's the God that we getting mad at. I'm sorry, God. What I meant to say was that you're actually kind of amazing, and I love you, and I know that right now things don't look good, and none of it makes sense to me. Clearly, I'm slightly unstable right now. Verse 22, Martha had hit him with, I know that even now, God will give you whatever you ask. She had some level of faith. And that's like us too. Sometimes we're like, okay, God, your word says that you will supply all my needs according to your riches and glory. Yes, I believe that. Then the next bill comes. What? This is a foolishness. But I just thought you said 5 seconds ago, God will supply. Sometimes we can be real schizophrenic with our Christianity. Let's settle this once and for all. He is pro you. Your brother will rise again. And Martha answered, I know he'll rise again in the resurrection on the last day. You know, I know. Check. I am the resurrection and the life. So whoever believes in me will live even though they die. Yes, Lord, Martha replied. I believe. No, she didn't. We're going to jump down to verse 33. It says, when Jesus saw Mary, he was deeply moved in spirit and troubled. Jesus had that one Denzel glory tear. He feels what it is that you feel. Don't let the lies of the enemy permeate your system to feel like you're all alone and everybody else is getting the miracle and the blessing but you. The devil is a liar.
It don't matter what you tried to do. You couldn't destroy me.
Verse 36. So the Jews said, see how he loved him. But some of them said, could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying? There's always going to be naysayers. You don't pay attention to the friends or the family members who are like, I don't think you're going to raise enough money for that business.
Save all the hating and the popping, pippin', you don't know.
Take away the stone. I got work to do. But Lord, by this time there'll be a stench because he's been dead for 4 days. As if Jesus didn't know this. Jesus don't care about your facts because he's the truth. Verse 40. But Jesus said, didn't I tell you if you believed you would see the glory of God? Wasn't that you I was having this conversation with about 5 minutes ago?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
You do.
Y'all got me working hard today. We forget that God is the same person who came through for us. In those moments where you feel just suffocated by so much anxiety and fear and frustration, just think back on all the moments that God has come through for you. And applying them to this very situation. Verse 41, the Oscar for Best Director goes to God because he orchestrated this whole thing perfectly. We're going to have Martha and Mary tripping out. We're going to have the stench because he's been dead for 4 days. It's really going to seal the scene. We're going to have my disciples mad because we have to walk back. The Jews just questioning what I can do. No problem. This is great. Action. Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I know that you always hear me. But I said this for the benefit of those standing about me today, that they may believe that you're the one who sent me. Sometimes when you're going through stuff, you just have to be like, God, not for my sake, but for the sake of those whose trust and belief and faith in you is wavering, come through. Do it so that I can have a testimony to share with them so that they can come back and believe you. When we don't trip out, we inspire faith in somebody else. And just to tie everything out, verse 43, he called out in a loud voice, hey, yo, lads, come on out, boys. There's people waiting to see you. The dead man came out. He was alive.
I'm still standing. I'm still strong.
Just like you are. Just like your situation. This is what God specializes in.
Shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win! They win!
Don't ever forget that.